Hello, welcome back, Magic Lovers. We're looking at the final deck list that I have decided to take this Tatyova Benthic Druid deck into a league and see how it does. It's been a bit of a rough road trying to find actual competitive games without actually having to put money down into a league or into a commander challenge. And commander challenges are tricky for my schedule because they run basically all Saturday afternoon. Um, so we're gonna take it to a league. Got to put some money down and see if just to find out if my deck's any good. Because basically the tournament practice room, I was able to get a couple of games that Teferi game was from the tournament practice room, but it's hard to find games in that room. Like they just almost never fire. So we don't really have any idea. I mean, I have some presumptions about how it'll do, and I don't think particularly well, but I think we have some opportunities with some really fast ramp hands and that kind of stuff that it might do well enough. But I just want to see. I want to test it out. And unfortunately, the only way to do that these days is with leagues. And I think I'm going to do a video about that road of and the problems it creates. And I'll do that in another video, I'll release on the same day but separate from this video. So look for that video today as well, where I talk about the difference between the competitive and the casual 1v1 commander environment right now, because I think there's a world of difference between them. So let's jump into a league. Alright, I got a match. I'm on the draw. This is like a slow, fast hand. It's really awkward. I'm playing against Leovold, which is probably my worst matchup. Because my commander doesn't do anything. I mean, I've got this Ugin. So I gotta try it, right? Ancient Tomb's pretty good. If they have turn one ramp, I'm in a lot of trouble. I don't know, might never get to Ugin. They make you discard your hand pretty much always. Alright, probably taking crop rotation. Courser, okay. Maybe they have an opportunity to make me lose my crop rotation, or they just don't care about it. They might just not care about it. All right. I'm going to play the scary. Kind of just want to get this Eye of Ugin out of my hand before my opponent makes me discard it somehow. But at the same time, I'm going to play the Ancient Tomb. Alright, they're getting him for 3. Cavern. Naming... I mean, it doesn't matter from my point of view, but they might not know that I'm... And they know I don't have any counter spells in my hand. But Cleric. Alright. Alright, let's play this. Far too dangerous to crop rotation into open mana. Ancient Tomb. What do they got here? Walking Ballista X3. Okay. Just Temple of the False Gods. So this is 5 or more lands, then I play another land. Play Eye of Ugin. I'm going to tick it up on Leovold. Keep it out of range of this Walking Ballista. I've got an active Eye of Ugin next turn. Well, I lose this Scary, so maybe I don't. I can at least explore. I can't if they play Leovold again. I guess I can just shoot Leovold again. Okay, they're replaying Leovold. I assume they're swinging at Ugin. Get a tropical island. Let's explore. Oh. Oh my god. Why do I always forget about that? I always forget about that. That was unsettling. I can't believe I did that. I can replay Leovold again, costing all but one of their mana. And there he is. And then I'm getting swung at again. Eventually I'm going to lose this fight to the Walking Ballista. Alright. Not this turn, at least. Play my commander. Play land, draw a card. Maybe I should have... They probably should have... I don't know, maybe they don't want to shoot it down. Alright. Trying to find a way to struggle through this. They drew another land. They can play Leovold again, taking up all their mana. They could just have straight removal for Tatyova. Yeah, Leovold costs more than you have right now. Treasure Cruise. I will block this Walking Ballista 1000% of the time. I want to keep this Ugin in play. Oh, put a counter on it? Oh, geez, yeah, I forgot about that. That was pretty dumb of me. Exploration. One, two, three, four, five, six. Kill that ancient tomb. Play an exploration. Play a Drown Your Temple. Draw a card. Play a Mox Diamond. Discard a card. Into the north. Get Mouth of Ronom. That plus Ugin will kill a walking ballista. I guess they can just kill it this turn unless I block Tatyova, though. Because they can just add counters to it. I probably have to block with walking ballista. Or block with Tatyova. As good as she is. Seven life. They're at 14 life at least. And they can't recast Leobold. Okay, as Blessing. No targets to draw a card. All right. Wow. That's a tough one. I've had some bad luck against Leobold in the past. Turns out Ugin pretty much alone was good enough to get it done. Alright, I got match 2. I am on the draw against Yisan, and I do not think that this hand is fast enough to deal with Yisan. So I'm going to mulligan. Alright, I'll keep this. It's the same speed. Nature's Claim might hit a mana rock or something like that. And I get a scry. Eldrazi Temple. 50% chance it's a different land. 10% chance it's a ramp spell. I think I'd rather take those chances. Oh, he's just got the free one, so he gets Yisan on turn 1 on the play. Alright, at least it's going to take him a couple turns to activate it. Yeah, that sucks. Because I gotta Nature's Claim this thing. I assume they got mana elves or something like that, or other lands. Probably a mana elf and another land. So I only set him back 1 turn. Or Utopia Sprawl, that works too. I can't feel to ruin that. I don't have a Ghost Quarter in my deck. So, jeez. Alright, well, there's not much competing with this level of ramp. They don't have anything to untap it yet, but Farseek versus Burgeoning does the same basic thing unless he doesn't have a land, in which case so awkward that I haven't had an opportunity to play this Burgeoning. go. What is this? Druid. Druid. It's Farseek. I don't want to take a chance that opponent doesn't have land. So I'm still a couple turns away from doing anything really interesting. I had 2 cards in my graveyard. They have an Ancient Tomb too? Wow, this is the nutsest hand I've seen. Like, it's all ramp. And a turn 1 Yisan. And then they get a Quirion Druid and untap it and do it again. Oh, they already played their land. So they're done for this turn. Quirion Ranger, my bad. But I believe they're done for this turn unless they've got something. They could have something crazy. They could have another mana rock. That would be surprising, but... Or a Vitalize. I don't... How do you beat this hand? This hand is absolutely amazing. Alright, they got a Priest of Titania. Their last card's probably Craterhoof Behemoth, because that's exactly how nuts this hand is. And Cephalid Coliseum, Hickory Woodlot. We got 2 card types in our graveyard. I could potentially put a 3rd one in, but then we still need to get to 10. We could play up Eye of Ugin and get to 8, but then we're technically getting to 9 because I have the Eye of Ugin. I think I'm just gonna get a fetch land. It's super slow, but I need to draw something. I think I just plain lost. Like, Misty Rainforest, Burgeoning. Yeah, I don't know how you beat this. This is... Most decks would have trouble beating this. Maybe just removal. If you're playing a removal deck, you just remove Yisan turn 1, but then you're not killing the artifact. It still slows him down. But then, if it had been a Soul Ring instead of a Mana Crypt, I could have slowed him down another additional turn. At least the Vitalize is out of their hand, but they can still get Scribe Ranger. They haven't played a land, so they can return this forest and then play it again and then return it again. And then they're probably getting to Craterhoof before I have an opportunity to do much of anything. Oh, they're at 3, so they can't get the Scribe Ranger. They got a Wood Elves. Alright, and at 4 they got the Acolyte. It's so much mana. This is 7. Fortunately, their hand's small. We know one of those is a forest. One of the cards in their hand. I don't know what the other 2 are. But with my luck, it's probably a Craterhoof. Because they can easily cast it now, next turn. I don't think I'm dead this turn. But that doesn't say that much. Because I can't really interact with them before then anyways. Maybe if they play the forest and then I draw Cyclonic Rift. Or All Is Dust. Those are my outs, I think. I think that's about it. Alright, they have a Staff of Domination. 3 mana, untap target creature. Which they're using on the Priest of Titania. And they are saying go. And they didn't replay the forest, unfortunately. So All Is Dust is not an out. Cyclonic Rift plus them playing a land is kind of an out. Untap target creature. Oh, they're going to do it now? Oh, okay, I see. Because they could only do that once per turn? Yeah, I'm pretty dead. Alright. Alright, I got match 3. I am unfortunately on the draw again against the same opponent. And Azusa and 3 lands does not count as ramp. Hopefully their hand isn't as nuts as it was before. But I do think they're already a faster deck than I am. But I think I need to mulligan fairly aggressively here. Green Sun Zenith, Romanek Excavator, gets back the Verdant Catacombs. This is alright. Do I want another land? I don't. Please don't have another Mana Rock. They don't even have an Elf? Oh, that's pretty good. Crop Rotation also pretty good. I'm still going to fetch the Dryad Arbor. Maybe I can't quite crop rotate into Titania on turn 3. Alright, Priest of Titania. Just tap for 1 right now. Alright, now I can. Yeah, if I attack and they block, I can crop rotate. I can still crop rotate this into... No, I can't. Let's test them. Yeah, I don't think there's any world in which you want to block. Maybe I could have kept it open and... Now I need another land. I need a green land. Which I guess I have in my graveyard. Hall of Gemstone. Okay. We're going to pick green. What's this do? That taps her 2... Okay. Oh, I can just Primeval Titan? Is that better than Titania? I mean, Titania is good. Yeah, it's probably better than Titania. Who are we kidding here? Temple of False Gods doesn't... Eldrazi Temple? We need another... Oh, we've... Yeah, Temple of False Gods does tap. And then Eye of Ugin. And then we play our land. Say go. Little, unfortunately, I don't have Dark Depths Thespian stage here. But not the worst. Opponent's turn 4 Yisan isn't that great anymore. It still could win the game. I'm not going to lie here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So should I just activate Ayavugan instead of doing anything else? Should definitely swing with Primeval Titan. Get Urborg and Eldrazi Temple. Yeah, I'm going to go the Ulamog route. Opponent doesn't have any ways to untap Yisan yet. I could go for Emrakul. Ooh, that was... I didn't think about Phyrexian Roker. My opponent went for the Yisan, and now it's in play. They're picking Ayavugan, and there's nothing I can do about it there. That's unfortunate. That is very unfortunate. I didn't even think about that. Chalk that up to inexperience to play with playing against Yisan. I should have known to activate Ayavugan right then. Except they picked Jace the Mind Sculptor. I'm baffled by that. Oh, it's non-land. Never mind. Okay. I am not playing Jace. So yeah, okay. Yeah, he forgot. I forgot. I don't need to pay life here. So why do it? Let's just go with Ulamog. I mean, green. Green's fine. Do I attack first, or do I Ulamog? I don't think it matters. They're tapped out. Let's Ulamog first. Let's tap that for black. Tap that. Tap that. One more. Alright, so we'll kill those two things. Don't really care about the Hall of Gemstone. Just care about their mana and their Yisan. Alright, they have a Hapatra's Mark, which looks like they're targeting the priest. So we'll go ahead and play our Titania. Bring back our fetch land. Make a 5/3. I guess it doesn't matter that much. We'll just do Breeding Pool tapped. Swing with Prime Time. I want to close this game out. I guess they could All Is Dust or something like that. I don't know if they run that card. I don't think it really matters. Ulamog's colorless. I guess Mouth of Ronom and Wasteland's horrible. Tech Edge is horrible. Scavenger Grounds. Nothing else really matters. We'll go for Scavenger Grounds just in case. I guess I could have gotten fetch lands for Titania. The Malderonum technically does it, though, too. So this is still 2. So they're only at 4 mana. That's 5 mana. Because they did bring back a forest. So they can replay Yisan. They can't all his dust. I don't think you can net mana that easily with Priest of Titania. I guess you can return a forest to untap it. Maybe they could. Elves can do nuts things with mana sometimes. So we shouldn't count it out. But it kills all their green things, and then I have an Ulamog if they have all his dust. Alright, they play Yisan. He's summoning sick. They're out of mana. They can return a forest to untap the priest. Still only taps for 2 because Yisan's a human. For a Voyaging Satyr. But I think I can kill him this turn? I don't know. Come close. Doesn't really matter. Let's Mouth of Ronom. Get a blocker out of the way. It should still count as snow. There it goes. It's so weird the way it acts with that. Untap. They got another protection spell. Ranger's Guile. Okay. Alright, that's a bit unfortunate, but I think they need to block things to stay alive. I think they need to block a lot of things to stay alive. And getting 20 cards out of the library isn't nothing. I can definitely hit targets. If they hadn't replayed the Revoker, misplayed the Revoker. I think it's still a pretty interesting game. I don't know. They could have gotten something else, I guess, instead of the Revoker, because they didn't think about it. Because they definitely have the answers to all my removal spells. Let's go with fetch lands now, I guess. We'll go with Cephalid Coliseum and Wooded Fit Hills. I'm attacking with the Dryad Arbor because I don't think they can afford to block it with the... Alright, we had Safekeeper. The Guardian's a good one because it untaps creatures. Seeker is something he could have gotten, but probably wouldn't. Scribe Ranger is huge. Well, maybe they can't afford to block it with the... Yeah, this is 16. They're still alive. I tapped all my snowland, didn't I? Because I could get the Malderonum back. Well, I have plenty of mana to activate my Eye of Ugin again. So I guess I'll do that. Because I could have gotten the Malderonum back if I still had this snow-covered island untapped. And then I could have used it again on their upkeep when it doesn't have hexproof. So we'll just play the land and say go. Not a lot of reason to do much else right now. We have very much lethal on the board. interesting. I think this is a hard deck for me to beat. Maybe they don't always have the removal, but sometimes they have faster hands. You know, so there's a lot of avenues for this deck to beat me from. Alright, they're playing a Wood Elves, which lets them tap Priest of Titania for an extra mana, but it costs them 3 mana. Well, 2 mana. So I guess it costs them 1 mana. Wirewood Symbiote, return an elf, return a Wood Elves. Alright, they're going for a second time around. Scribe Ranger is no longer in their deck. Neither is Seeker, but that isn't nearly as good. Alright, they got a Devoted Druid. And they replay Quirion Ranger. And you've already used this ability. This is a fresh one, so they can untap one thing. Alright, to which they're untapping the Priest. Now taps for 4 mana? Yeah, 4 mana. But I think they're done untapping things for this turn. They could do it again on my turn, which is something I need to worry about a little bit. Query Hauler. Alright, they can jump Yisan to 4. Now I can either make a token with the Scavenger Grounds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Or I can take over their turn with Emrakul. I don't know which is better. I don't know. I don't think I have enough to get through with this damage. I'm going for the Emrakul line. My opponent has been very, very thoughtful about their plays, and it's been really interesting. All right. Whew, that was a tough one. All right, got match 4. I am on the play. This is... No, this is fine. Playing against Brea, though. That's a tough one. We'll keep this. Hope we don't get turn 1 Wasteland. But other than that, should be good. Gets a counterspell and Azusa is not great either. Not a Wasteland, a Skull Clamp. Alright. Life from the Loam's pretty good. Cavern. Turn 2 Mana Rock. They always have it. Alright. That's pretty good. It's okay. Cavern on Druid. Blue. Green, green. Green. Black. Do I want to just bring that back? Now let's wait. Alright, and I'm almost to Ugin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I need another mana. What was that pump fake? Oh, they need another mana to play. Alright, Signet. Okay. I'm gonna kill one of my creatures. Alright. Sacrificing a mana rock. No, not yet. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, we have to use a depletion counter here. Play a land. Draw a card. I want a land. Oh, that's pretty good. Play a land. Draw a card. Now I think I can do that. Cephalid Coliseum. Do I loan back all these lands? Probably. Seems fine. I'm out of land drops for the turn, though. Let's attack to ready. Doing pretty well here. Create a token. Create a Brea. Teferi. Alright. Do I just want that in my library? No, it's fine. Definitely not using a replacement effect this turn. Let's play all our lands first. Well, -5 Ugin. And then maybe I should have brought that back. Oh wait, no, I can cultivate because of the Urborg. Or I could just play Tireless Tracker. I want to cultivate. I've got this World Breaker in my library. These depletion counter lands are really good with Urborg as well. So opponent's down to 2 cards in hand. I have an active Ugin in play. Alright, they're sacking the token with a Skull Clamp. I'm not sure how good Avenger of Zendikar is against them. Alright, so their Council's Judgmenting Ugin. Dark Confidant. I don't think I need life in the loam. I don't have any way to play more than one land per turn. Alright, that's pretty good. Let's get rid of Dark Confidant. Let's get rid of Skull Clamp. I don't really care about their lands that much. And let's play Tireless Tracker. I could have used that for black mana, this Evelyn Coliseum. Alright, say go. Alright, Signet. They finally playing Brea? Looks like it. They can use Brea to kill the Tireless Tracker. And sacrifice 2 artifacts? Alright, they're doing that now. Alright. Oh, they sacrificed a Mana Rock. Okay. Still don't want that. Woodland Bellower. It's pretty good. Do I have a way? Oh, I have this Cavern of Souls. Let's see if they block with Brea. Or if they just block with the Thopter token. Alright. Black. Black. Just too worried about a Wrath to be playing the Woodland Bellower. I can draw 3, discard 3 with his Cephalid Coliseum. Let's get Reclamation Sage. Kill Brea. And plan on bringing back the, okay. Alright, so we're up to 3-1. I was going to bring back the World Breaker on my on their instep. But that was a pretty fast hand against Brea, so I think that definitely helped a lot. Alright, got match 5. I'm on the play. I am playing against the Yisan player again. Explorer's just not enough. Alright, Mox Diamond, Sanctum again. Yeah, that's actually the Crucible's pretty good. I don't want that. Alright, so let's Mox Diamond. Discard. It doesn't really matter because we're just going to bring it back. And say go. Let's hope this is fast enough. It's pretty fast, but Yisan's very fast too. I could just bounce Yisan. The Cyclonic Rift probably saves me down the road. I think I wait on that. Alright, they got a Finhorn Mouse. So last game I got the benefit of them not knowing my deck very well. So they weren't sure if Gemstone Caverns or whatever it is, they couldn't be sure if that was good against my deck or not. So they played that instead of playing Yisan. And then they also played their Revoker on Jace the Mind Sculptor, which isn't in my deck. So they might have a better idea of what my deck is doing now. And that might end up being less good for me. Alright, so the Utopia Sprawl. Do I kill the Utopia Sprawl? They don't have another Mana Rock or anything like that. Maybe. I think it's important to slow them down, especially with the Cyclonic Rift in my hand. I think I do kill it. Alright, they have a Concordant Crossroads, so I think I have to kill that. Giving everything haste is much too good. Kill it now, before they can untap target land. I wish I could kill the Sprawl as well, but alas, I cannot. Alright, so let's fetch and play our commander. Oops, no, we need an actual real color of mana there. And then we got the fetch land up for the next turn. We're still 2 turns from Cyclonic Rifting, unless we hit a dual land. I can emergency Cyclonic Rift. Alright, there's Yisan. They're going to get going really fast here, yeah. Priestess Titania. It's pretty good. Alright, let's play this. Draw a card. Sack it. Might as well just go for, oh, it's got to be an island or a breeding pool, or, yeah, that's fine. Draw another card. One, two, three, four, five, six. All right. I think I attack here. Yeah, I couldn't imagine any world in which they wanted to block. So this has been going on a while. I'm probably just going to jump ahead of their turn because they take a while. All right. Oh, thank God they hit Crucible of Worlds. I was so worried they'd hit Mox Diamond. They don't know it, but Mox Diamond kills them and Crucible of Worlds doesn't. Alright, so I think I have to do this before they untap. They've got so much mana if they untap. So let's play our land, draw a card. They also returned 2 forests on their last turn. Now in this case, it might be better if this was all as dust because it destroys all these untapped creatures. But at least they can't fetch them out, but I don't know if that's much better. But they get to replay them all, so all as dust would probably be a little bit better. It would kill my own Tatyova, but getting these things into the graveyard where there's not many ways to bring them back would probably be a little bit better. Alright, opponent thought about it for a while. There's not many cards that can stop that. You know, like the hexproof and even giving yourself hexproof, it doesn't target the player. There's not many ways to stop that from happening. So I imagine it's Utopia Sprawl and then their commander. I've drawn nothing but lands, so that hasn't been too great. Even drawing 2 cards a turn, I've drawn nothing but lands. So, well, we got 2 more draws next turn, at least. Maybe I draw a fetch land and then I get another 2 draws. Alright, they're playing Priest for the mana. And then Quirion Ranger. Yep, that makes sense. Okay. Gets their mana moving, but slows them down a little bit. And they have to discard 2 cards. So that's pretty good. Forest. Another land. Alright, they could possibly play a non-basic. Another land. Alright, well this is unideal. Like I need, like the Cyclonic Rift was great, but I need ways to beat them, and drawing 2 lands per turn, every turn, It doesn't do that. Alright, they redeployed the most of their hand. They Reclamation Sage my Mox Diamond. I knew that'd be coming eventually. So Ugin's really good here. Just another land. It's insane at this point. Alright, I don't think I need to deploy the Mazavith yet. I don't really want to tell him what my draw has been, because it gives them a bit of information. I don't know if it really helps them. Alright. So this turn's going to be bad for me. If only I had drawn something. Alright, opponent has ticked up to 4 and then Query Hollered up to 5. I do still have outs, but not many. I need to draw non-land cards here. And that is not a non-land card. Come on, non-land card. And it has to be a really good non-land card, too. Alright, I'm just gonna sit through my opponent getting a Crater Hoof. Or they have it in their hand. Either way. There's nothing I can do here. I'm showing my hand. Nothing but lands. My draw was abysmal. I think I really had an opportunity to win that game. But, oh, that sucks. That sucks a lot. So, I do think I got a little bit lucky there. Beating Leovold was amazingly lucky. That is actually the second league I played. The first league I went 1-4. I played against the same Leovold opponent 3 times in a row, and that is an abysmal matchup. One time they turn 3 Protean Hulk me, the Flash Hulk combo, and just killed me on the site. And then one game I actually got off a turn 3 Tatyova, but they got off a turn, on the play, but they got off a turn 2 Leovold. So I couldn't draw anything off Tatyova. And the fact that, one, I got to keep Ugin without them making me discard my hand until I was able to play them, that it didn't get countered, and that it was actually good enough was just unfathomable luck. I just can't even imagine. I think the matchups against I can't think of his name right now. I think they go about like that most of the time. Like sometimes my draw in Game 5 was horrible. If I had drawn anything that did anything to the board state, I might have been able to come back. Especially if after that Cyclonic Rift really slowed him down. But I didn't even draw Eye of Ugin or any useful lands. I just kept drawing lands over and over and over again. So that one was bad luck. But, the other one, I was lucky to draw a Soul Ring when I did, which helped me ramp above them. And then, so the one game I did win in the first league was against the new commander, the red one that's 5 colors. That's human, warriors, and I can't think of the name of it right now. I can't. Nagila. Nagila is the card. Okay, so I think that one's a pretty good matchup, and Cyclonic Rift won me that game flat out. And then the Brea game was pretty cool as well because I got so much ramp. But this deck is really dependent on getting a lot of ramp. And the hands where you start out with 2 forms of ramp spells can beat just about any matchup, I think. And the hands where you have no ramp spells can lose to just about any matchup. So this deck's super dependent on that. So I think it's important to mulligan, and I still think this is soundly a tier 2 deck. I think it's good. I think it's actually really good. But the matchup against Leovold, and Leovold is a key card in this format right now. I was looking at that Leovold deck as they were playing it, and they basically got every one of the unbanned cards, and they just shoved them all in their deck. They got all the tutors back, they got Dig Through Time, they got Treasure Cruise, they got all the mana rocks, they got, mana drain. The deck probably benefited the most from the unbannings over any other card, any other deck. Basically, every unbanned card went straight into that deck, and it's made it even worse and more oppressive than it already was. And the fact that it pairs up so, my commander pairs up so badly against it. Like, I need that card draw. There are other ways, like, getting to Ugin, getting to Eye of Ugin to get, if they're slow enough. I did against one of the matches that I didn't show. I got to Eye of Ugin. I was about to use it, and then I got flash hulked. So yeah, that's another unbanned card that they just shoved in their deck, and now the deck's very, very good. And so this deck does not match up well against it. I got lucky in that one game, but at least I think it's a lot of fun, and I think the commander's pretty good. I think it is an interesting twist on the Azusa deck, and it does different things, and that's kind of cool. It has different avenues of play, and you can draw a lot of cards, which is really, really cool. And like, even when Brea was killing my commander, I still was drawing a lot of cards off my commander, and I got to keep my Azusa in play, and then which allowed me to just ramp up like crazy. And then I played a big spell, and then Brea couldn't really deal with it. And then, I got this one treasure chest. Treasure chests are not a good value right now, but there's only one of them. So I might get $1.50 worth of value versus $2 for selling it. So for the purpose of the video, I'll open it. And I got Sorin, Lord of Innistrad, and Knight of Soul's Betrayal. This is probably $1 or $2. So yeah, I mean, that's probably it's probably only $1 or something like that. I'll have to look it up. But so thank you for watching. I want to do a discussion about the chasm between casual and competitive play in 1v1 Commander right now. But I don't think this video, at the end of the video, is the right place to do it. I'm going to do another video for that, and I'm going to post that on the same day as this league. So look for that video as well. I'll post the link in the description, because I think the two different parts of the format are in very different places right now, and it's really interesting. So I want to do an analysis of that. So before I go, I wanted to look at a couple other changes that I thought of after the fact, and I think Maze of Ith can go. There are a lot of other ways of dealing with Sword of Feast and Famine, including just going around it, or killing it a number of ways that we've recently added, and it's not played as much because everybody's running mana ramp right now, or everybody's running artifact removal right now. So I think that Maze of Ith can go. I don't know about Urborg. I've been playing the percentage game. We got 21 turn 1 green sources right now, which puts us at about 81% to draw a green land in our starting 7, and even higher if you mulligan. And so for every non-green land that you replace with 1, it increases that percent by about 1.5%. So it puts us at about 84 if we replace both of them, which is actually pretty good. The other thing I was wondering is if maybe we want Ghost Quarter, because Ghost Quarter can hit a Utopia Sprawled Forest, and it also can trigger Tatyova by hitting one of our own lands. But in both cases, you're going down a land, and I don't know if you want to do that. Like, hitting a Ghost Quartered, I mean, it just kind of evens the mana out. Like, it doesn't actually move you forward or move them backwards relative to the other player. So I don't think Ghost Quartering a Utopia Sprawled land really is where you want to be. And maybe to draw a card, you want to sacrifice a land, but it seems like a corner case. And I think the whole scary and not using depletion counters, instead using this, I don't know, that's pretty questionable as well. So I don't know. It just seems I don't know, 85% ain't bad, or 84%. That actually feels like a pretty big difference. So I actually hadn't done it through fully yet, but I think am I out of shiny ones? All right. So I think that might be right. That puts you at 23. Almost half of them, half of your lands are green turn one lands. Yeah, I mean, I think that could probably work. I don't think Ghost Court is really worth it, and I think I Maze of Ith is definitely a corner case, and Urborg I think is a pretty corner case. In like what did I play 30 games? I finally saw the interaction with Urborg and the double lands once in all of those games. I mean, maybe you could seek it out by using Primeval Titan or I mean, if you've already got a Primeval and Titan in play, worrying about Urborg is probably not the biggest thing in the world. Generally, you probably want to get Ayabugan and Homeward Path just to protect yourself. And then Expedition Map, if you're getting Urbor with Expedition Map or Sylvan Scrying, I think that's you're forgoing better lands just to not destroy a land when you tap it. And there's plenty other ways. I think these lands work fine the way they are. And I don't think I want to worry about it. So just gonna put in two more snow-covered forests. I think percentages. I think those percentages, 4% is enough to matter. That's 4% more in your hands that you get to keep on your starting hand, and hopefully if there's ramp in there, you don't want to throw that hand away. You just don't. So those percentages do matter. And the other change I wanted to make is Karn. I thought this was in the deck, and then I realized after playing that I just never drew it, and I looked at my deck and it's not in there. And this deck needs more removal. It just does. Like all the removal you can get is a good thing. So even if it's 7 mana, and I think the fairly obvious cut is Avenger of Zendikar. It's just not great against decks that play Wrath of God. And against decks that don't, you can usually overpower them anyways. And I think Karn Liberated is great against decks with Wrath of God. They usually have one or two problematic permanents that you want to get rid of. It's another way to deal with an artifact or enchantment if you really have to. I think it's just I was surprised that it wasn't in the deck. I thought it was, and then I realized I never drew it. So I definitely think Karn should go in the deck. So I had a couple other recommendations based on the YouTube comments that I wanted to take a look at. Summer Bloom was one that was recommended, and I did consider this when I was building the deck, but I had decided that too much needed to go right in order for this to really work. The floor on this card is that it's card disadvantage, and you might only have, well, you could potentially have no other lands to play, and then it's just a dead card in your hand. It's a pretty bad top deck in a late game if you don't have any extra lands and you need some gas or something like that. The ceiling, of course, on it is that you've got Tatyova in play. You play this and you draw 3 extra cards as the result. So maybe I underestimated. I'm not sure. I'm still not super high on this card. I think the other ways to play additional lands still stick around for the most part. Your opponent has to kill them if they want to get rid of them, etc. So I like those ones a little bit more, but you might want to consider this if you're playing the deck. You might want to consider this or try it out, see, but I think the floor is just too low. So personally, I don't think I want to play it, but maybe I should test it at some point in the future. Wayward Swordtooth is one that I forgot about. It's a fairly new card, but it really hasn't had an impact on any format, despite it being like a 60-70 cent card. Maybe Commander players are playing it, and I just wasn't aware of it. And I went to look at this card. I thought it would be worse. I thought it was like 4 mana, or it didn't really do much. But it's actually, it's a decent card. I think it's really at home in a deck like this. It's really easy to trigger the city's blessing, even if you don't trigger the city's blessing. Yes, you only get one extra land. Yes, it's not as good as Oracle of Medaya. Few things are. But I still think that it sticks around. You get one extra land played per turn, which is great. It doesn't have to be in your hand, so you can use the Crucible of Worlds and whatnot, and as opposed to like the Sky Shroud or the Scourge Tribe Elder, those have to be from your hand. So I think this is pretty decent, and if you can trigger City's Blessing, which you can do mostly with just lands. Then you got a 5/5 for 3, and that's pretty good as well. So I think this actually goes right in the deck. I just overlooked it because it's a newer card and it really hasn't seen much play in many formats. And the cards that could be cut, Nature's Claim is alright, but might not be as necessary as I initially thought. Realms Uncharted is good, less good when you're not playing the Dark Depth combo anymore. And then, yeah, I'm not sure what else really could be removed here. Maybe Agent Stirring, but that's been great. Mulch has been pretty good. I think Realms Uncharted can actually go. It's pretty good, but it's basically just it's expensive. It's the 3 mana, draw 2 lands, which can draw you cards, but I think when I've drawn it, it's been all right. I've played it, but I think Wayward Swordtooth could be quite a bit better. Rampaging Balos is another card that somebody recommended. I did consider this. I had Avenger of Zendikar at the time. I didn't really want to overload on this kind of effect, and I eventually cut Avenger of Zendikar because it kind of did the same thing Titania does, and so does Rampaging Balos. These have more power. Rampaging Balos might be a little more consistent about when it gets the landfall triggers, but this comes down to turn earlier, and it actually ramps you a land because you pull a land out of your graveyard, and then you get the 5/3 right away. If you just top deck this, this technically costs 7 mana because you want to be able to play the land. You'd almost never play this bear. So I just think Titania does the same thing a little bit better. There are times when Rampaging Balos is better, but I think on the whole, on average, Titania is going to be better. So I don't really think the deck needs Rampaging Balos, even if it could be pretty good. And then the last card that I thought about in passing, and I never really seriously considered it. And when I thought about it some more, it has a big upside. The floor on it is that you sacrifice 4 lands and maybe you go and get an Eye of Ugin or some other things like that. But, I guess that's all right. There's times when even that's fine and you don't have a Tatyova in play. But the ceiling on it is you draw X cards, where X is the number of lands that you control, and then you potentially get a bunch of fetch lands or utility lands, and then you draw more cards on your following turn when you sack those fetch lands with Tatyova in play. I don't know, I think a lot of things have to go right for this to be really, really good. But, it could be pretty good. I think it'd be worth testing. For right now, I don't know. I don't know what you'd cut for it. Maybe get Nature's Claim or something like that. Maybe something else. Maybe a ramp spell. Probably not a ramp spell. You really want all the ramp spells you can get. But I think it might be worth testing to see it out. And unfortunately, I didn't think about it really. I thought about it, but didn't think about it actually seriously until after already played 30 some odd games. I don't want to really hammer more test games on YouTube or anything like that. But maybe in the future, I think I'll actually leave it in the deck. And if I ever pick up this deck again, force myself to decide if I want to keep this card or some other card. But I'm not going to include it in the final deck list on the YouTube video. So I'll leave that. If you guys want to pick up the deck, I'll leave that as a decision for you guys to make. All right, so that concludes my 5-part series on Tatyova, a commander that I really, really enjoyed. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Thank you for watching. Have a good night.